Hey everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Jeff Also Cooks, where it is almost Valentine's Day, so I am going to be making one of my wife's favorites, homemade gnocchi. Now, a lot of people get intimidated making gnocchi at home, but I'm here to show you that it is actually very simple. Hell, if I could do it, you can do it. It's time to roll up our sleeves and get gnocchiing. Also, I apologize in advance for how congested I sound. So to get started, you're going to need to peel about 5 medium-sized russet potatoes and then cut them into 1-inch thick rounds. Get them into the water and start boiling them. While that's going on, we're going to get our mise en place ready. Mise en place is just French for everything in its place. The prep work is going to help with the sauce later on in the video. So go ahead and take out your cutting board and a brick of Parmesan cheese, and then shave off a few thin pieces of Parmesan. This is going to be our garnish later on. Grate another big pile of Parmesan on the side. I would suggest about double the amount you see here. I messed up. And then we're going to crush about 3 cloves of garlic. I don't actually have a garlic crusher and I prefer it this way. I like to mince my garlic nice and small, put some coarse kosher salt on it, and then rub it with my knife until I get the texture I'm looking for. Once that's out of the way, go ahead and take the stems off of about 10 sage leaves, put those to the side next to a whole stick of high quality butter, and move the cutting board away because the prep work is almost done. Next up, take 1 large egg and whisk it up in a bowl. Set that aside because it is time to prep our flour. To a large mixing bowl, go ahead and add 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose white flour. Season it with some salt and pepper. Give it a quick mix and set that aside as well. At this point, your potatoes should be fully cooked, so go ahead and drain them. Go ahead and shift your laptop over because steam is probably bad for it, and then mix up your potatoes. It would be better to use a ricer, but one of these dough claws works just as well. Prep a parchment-lined baking sheet with some flour, get your bench scraper ready, and then once your potatoes are cool enough to handle, add your egg to them, mix it up by hand, and then add in your flour mixture and mix it up again by hand. Don't knead it so much as folding it in on itself. This isn't going to be like a traditional dough, it's going to still be loose. Flour your work surface heavily and turn out your dough ball. Flatten it a little bit and cut it into quarters. Roll out the quarters of the dough into long tubes until you have the thickness desired, and with your bench scraper, cut them into the pillow shape that everyone knows and loves. I like really big gnocchi, you can make them really small, it's really up to you at this point. Once you've cut your gnocchi, put them onto the baking sheet, making sure they don't touch each other, and repeat with the rest of your dough. Go ahead and pat yourself on the back because you have mastered homemade gnocchi. However, no gnocchi is complete without a good hearty sauce to go with it, so start by browning half a stick of butter with those sage leaves and crushed garlic from earlier. If your butter is browning a little too fast, add in some olive oil, that'll slow down the cooking, and keep going until your garlic starts to brown, at which point remove your sauce into a heat-resistant bowl and get your gnocchi into some boiling water for 1 to 2 minutes depending on how big you made them. While they boil, to the same pot you made your sauce in, add another half stick of butter, a little bit of olive oil, and once a minute has passed, your gnocchi. You're going to want to get some color on those now. Once you see some color starting to develop, go ahead and add your butter sage mix from earlier back into the pot, along with the grated parm. Cook it down for another minute or 2 and then remove all of it into a heat-resistant bowl. Once it's out, go ahead and deglaze that pan with some chicken stock, preferably homemade, but store-bought is just as good. Add in some extra parm here and about 1.5 cups of heavy cream. Cook it down until it's nice and thick, adjust your seasoning to taste, and add your gnocchi back in. Fold it into your sauce, and that's it. That's how you make homemade gnocchi the right way. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you learned, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you try it. Be sure to leave a like down below, it really helps me out, and let me know in the comments what you thought. I'll see you all again next Thursday, but happy Valentine's Day.